I'm going in search of witches.
Witches.
Witches. I guess you found me out, huh? Yeah. You should come around here on Halloween. You'd really see something then.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we all jump off the roof and fly.
You know, sort of like a coven. You have placed Fester under some strange sexual spell.
At what time will we be spellcasting?
Hey there, witches, and welcome to Moonstone Witchery, the podcast where we talk about witchcraft and spirituality in a modern context. My name is Rian Locker. Thank you for joining me. This is my last episode of whatever season we are at. Y'all, I'm doing this thing. Here's the thought, and I don't know if I've talked about this yet. However, in my mind, you know what's happening now with TV shows is like they're going back to the like week to week format of our youth. And this annoys me because like I feel like one of the most positive things about like moving forward in time was the ability to like binge watch a whole ass series of shows all at once on like a particularly like rainy weekend, you know? Or like if I'm having like a moody episode of time in my life, I can be like, F it, I'm just gonna sit here and like watch like all of this like trashy TV all at once and like fuel my soul and like order a pizza and like eat it in my bed, right? Like this is like the vibe. And like we had a good stint with it, y'all. We had like time, we had like the opportunity, but now evil has entered into the equation because now they're like, oh, this show is week to week. You have to wait. And I'm like, what is this way to like go back in time to some outdated model of just absolute fuckery? And you know, it just happened in my mind. I was like, I'm not going to curse. I'm going to come up with another word. Because originally I was going to say bullshit. And then my brain was like, yeah, don't say bullshit. Say fuckery. That's better. So I've just slammed you with like all of the words. Sorry if you have little ones with you. Use me as a model for what not to say. Don't say bad words unless they're empowering to you. In which case, let them fly, y'all. Let them fly. So anyway, this has relevance, I promise. And the reason it has relevance is because I was like, okay, my podcast has been so sporadic because I have been like overworked for like several years at this point. I am going to prioritize it. I am going to record a whole season and then I'm going to drop a whole season at once. And so this right now is my 9th episode in this current season. I don't really have seasons numbered or whatever because of the sporadic dropping of podcasts that have been my norm. But whatever. I wanted to release a whole like volume of stuff at once. So here we are. This is technically my last episode in this season. But I'm going to just turn around and start making another season right away. So don't worry about that. And I have cool things happening on the podcast coming up. Seriously. Like, you know how sometimes people who are like having a business or whatever, they say things like that and they're like, it's so cool. Can't wait to announce it. And like, then they like build up. They're like, the announcement's coming soon, like whatever. And then it's like, not that exciting because it's like been all a hype. So I'm trying to not overhype, but I am going to do something kind of different and I am super amped about it. I also have like at least one, but probably 2 bonus episodes that are coming as well. So fun, exciting things are happening and I am excited and fun. I want to talk today about, because you know what, this topic's been coming up in my private coaching sessions with some of my private clients. And, oh, wait a second. Someone just like reminded me, someone being my own guide talking to me in my head, just reminded me that one of my clients had a really good suggestion for a podcast episode. So maybe I'll have like a couple more bonus, because I don't think that what I'm doing right now is that episode. Hang on, now I've like lost what I'm doing. Okay, so I'll get back to you on that. But so this has come up in my private coaching classes and my private coaching one-on-ones a couple times frequently recently. And so when something kind of comes up frequently, it's a sign to me that I'm supposed to kind of engage with it a little bit more. Now, because of the work that I do, and because I'm here in the capacity to teach spirituality, the things that come up frequently in my spheres are for me to share. They're for me to pay it forward and to use as an act of service, right? And so in that capacity, I just want to present to you the title of today's episode, which is called Owning Your Magnificence. So what does that even mean? I don't think I've recorded an episode on this, but if I have, I'm going to do it again because it feels like it needs an update. It feels like it needs some effervescence. It feels like it's like floating around the atmosphere, and like we're going to talk about it. Owning our magnificence is like a cornerstone in our success. It is especially and significantly important for people who want to have their own business or take on a label for themselves, which they know in their soul belongs to them, but they are having trouble kind of embracing because of like imposter syndrome, really, like fundamentally. So if you struggle with imposter syndrome, this is the antidote to that. And I'm going to persuade you as to why you are going to want to step into the energy field of owning your magnificence. And so come along with me on this magical ride of magnificence, okay? This is also pertains directly to our spirituality because a lot of us have a struggle with our imposter syndrome as it pertains to accepting our giftedness, like our spiritual, magical, juicy, witchy, psychic giftedness. And so owning your magnificence dramatically helps with that as well, okay? When we own our magnificence, what we're doing is we are having a willingness to see ourselves as having something about ourselves that is positive, essentially. When we're owning our magnificence, we are having a willingness to see ourselves of having worth, of being able to contribute, of having some qualities about ourselves that are fundamentally good, or that we have attained or achieved anything. We are having a willingness to grant ourselves permission to have learned something, to have conquered something, to have become good at something. And this sounds like it's kind of should be maybe easy, or maybe it sounds like that to you. But so many people struggle, like really struggle with seeing their own worth, or seeing their own value, or seeing the ways in which they are a positive contributor to like their own universe, their own lives, their own communities, their own form of society. People really struggle with this. And so I really want to support you in like overcoming this, because I have to tell you, when you are unwilling to own your magnificence, and when you are unwilling to see your own greatness and to have access to your own achievements, you're not only like restricting your own access to taking the steps you need to take on your own path, but you're restricting the access of all the people who would benefit from you living the life that your soul is wishing for you. So in one of my life coaching schools, this lady who ran the program, her name is Rhonda Britton, and she would always say, live the life your soul intended. That is a magical ass sentence, okay? live the life your soul intended means like strip away everything that's not you. You've all heard me say this infinite times at this point, so I will save the lecture on that part. But I want to say, like, when you restrict your access to your own magnificence, you are restricting your innate giftedness, your inherently good qualities, the expertise that came like programmed into your soul. You are restricting the ways in which you can grant yourself access to yourself. And when we don't have access to ourselves, no one else has access to us either. And so this is a problem, because remember, if our guides are telling us that we're here in order to be ourselves and give away our gifts, how can we do that if we are unwilling to acknowledge and recognize what our gifts are? So owning your magnificence means this. You are going to be willing to take inventory of yourself. So when you own your magnificence, you're like, I'm willing to take inventory of myself. I'm willing to see the things that I am good at. I'm willing to see the things that I do well. I'm willing to acknowledge that I have overcome some things, that I have cultivated skills, that I do have tools to utilize, that I can do certain things, that the experiences that I have had have been worth something because I have learned those lessons. I have anchored them in. I can do those things. This is so important. So like one day last spring, we were driving, me and Audrey, we like to go to this thing sometimes called Music Bingo. Music Bingo is this thing that this like local little restaurant does. And what they do is they bring in like a DJ, and the DJ plays like, I don't know, like 10-second clips of songs, right? And you have to figure out what the song is and like check it off on your little like digital bingo card in the app that you download, right? And we totally cheat at this game, by the way. Like, we have Shazam opened like the entire time, and we completely cheat. But we have a great time cheating, and it's really fun, and we like drink Shirley Temples, and there are prizes. And I won this like huge ass like 64-ounce like beer stein. We are sober, but yo, that baby holds a lot of sweet tea. So anyway, we were driving to Music Bingo one night, and all of a sudden, boom, we got a flat tire. So we pulled over on the highway. Now, my little lesbian heart was like overjoyed and thrilled by this, because it meant I got to watch Audrey like jack up the car and change the tire. And I definitely took photos, and they are available if anyone would like to see them, because Audrey is super hot. And so I was like standing there, like cleaning things out of the way and like doing whatever I do. But Audrey was like, okay, I got this. Don't panic. Like, here's what we're going to do. Here's what I need. Like, here's how you can help me. Like, shine the flashlight, like whatever. So all of that happens. We get everything done. We get the tire changed. We're on our merry way, and everything was great. Now, let's take this scenario and let's like take it apart a little bit, okay? If Audrey hadn't been able to own her magnificence in that moment, we wouldn't have been able to change the tire in our car, right? Because what Audrey had to do was a series of the following things. Let's break it down. Audrey had to identify that the car's tire was flat, right? Like, oh, there's a weird sensation while I'm driving. Now there's a weird sound and potentially like a weird smell. Oh, I recognize this from previous experiences. I'm going to pull over. Step 1, Audrey was able to identify the issue based on her previous level of experience, okay? Step 2, Audrey safely pulled us to the side of the road based on her previous level of experience. Step 3, Audrey was able to be like, okay, here's what has to happen. And she looked in the trunk for the things that she needed, and she found them. And then she set herself up by the side of the car, and she did whatever she did, because I didn't attend those classes in lesbian training school. So I don't actually know how to change a tire. I am here representing the like super femme, like do not know anything about vehicles portion of events in the LGBT community. And there is no gender aligned with that. All of us femmes, whether we are male, female, or cis or not cisgendered or non-binary, whatever the case may be, we don't necessarily know how to do these things. Now, if someone had like a hair or makeup emergency, I could help with that. But and I'm not trying to be a stereotype of myself. It's just the damn truth. Okay. So Audrey was able to do all the things. Like I said, can't articulate to you what she did, but she did them. So it is because of the fact that Audrey knows her own skills in that situation that she was able to be like, don't worry, babe, I got this. And she did. She had it. And she did the thing, and it all worked out. Now, let's play this scenario out with someone who hadn't been able to own their magnificence, okay? Let's pretend that all the same things happened, but Audrey was insecure or, I don't know, just like unwilling to step into this space within herself. What would have happened was we would have pulled over to the side of the road, or perhaps not. Let's even go a step further. Car starts making a weird noise. There's a weird sensation in the car, accompanying sounds and smells, etc. She might have been like, I don't really know what's happening. Do you think I should pull over? What do you think it is? And we might have had a conversation that was growing more and more dangerous by the second, because neither of us might have known, right? All the while, this is a person who, in this scenario, isn't owning their magnificence. So they have a suspicious feeling that maybe the tire is flat, but because they're unwilling to access their confidence in themselves, because they haven't owned their greatness or their magnificence, they can't really identify and diagnose the problem. This is now a problem for all of us, because her unwillingness in this theoretical scenario would have been putting us in active danger. So then we eventually agree in this false reality to pull over and to assess the situation. Now, most people with eyes can tell if a tire is flat. So we'll just kind of give us all grace and be like, okay, it's a flat tire. Now, if she hadn't been able to own her magnificence, she might have been like, I'm pretty sure, I think I know how to do this. I've done it before. Or she might have been like, I have no idea. I don't want to touch it. Let's just call someone for help. So now in either scenario, either we're both kind of like not confident and scared, or we're waiting on the side of the road and now there's like a multitude of other people involved. Standing on the side of a highway, because this happened on the turnpike, is a scary experience. It's not something you want to do for very long. It's actually dangerous. Even sitting in your car pulled over on the side of the highway is a dangerous experience, and it's not really something that you want to just like do for funsies, okay? So that endangers us. And if she's doing the changing of the tire, it goes from being like a sexy photo op moment to being like, oh my God, I'm nervous. And then I'm texting my friends who do know about cars and I'm asking them, like, do you think she's doing it right? Or I'm like shouting out instructions to her via a third party because I don't feel confident in her because she doesn't feel confident in herself. And now we're all stressed out, etc., etc., etc. You can see how this could play out, right? The very fact that she was able to understand that she's been in this situation before, she's successfully done it before, she's learned that, she's mastered it, she's got it, was why we were able to get in, get out, and get done. Just like that. Okay? So I want you to realize that there's no ego here. This is not a conversation about ego, but ego in arrogance. And those concepts are what trip everybody up when it comes to owning their magnificence. Everyone's super afraid of coming off as cocky or coming off as arrogant or coming off as a know-it-all or coming off as egotistical, when in reality, I really have to say, and this is a cliche thing to say, but it's so effing true, if you are worried about that, you are not going to come off like that, because you're going to say enough words that make people understand that you're not being cocky. You're going to be like, hey, I can totally do that. Like, I learned how to do it. It's no big deal. Like, it can be like tricky at first, but I got you. And like saying words like that don't come off as like arrogant. If Audrey walked around her life being like, oh, I'm the king of changing all the tires, like, all right, fine. Like, we might be like, okay, nice job, like, whatever. But we're not like that, because She doesn't bring it up. It's irrelevant until it's relevant. She's not walking around just being like, hey, do you know who's the best at changing tires? It's me. Like, you know, like there is a layer, there are multiple layers of cockiness and arrogance. But stating facts and narrating your truth and just like speaking about what your capabilities are, they're not a point of arrogance. It's not an ego thing. It's just an honest thing. And if we're looking at the spectrum between like egomaniac on one end and like totally insecure on the other, there has to be just straight facts in the middle, right? Have you ever heard the saying that's like, when given like two different interpretations of a thing, the truth is really often in the middle? That's what I'm talking to you about. Like, I'm asking you to just get honest. But when I say that to certain people, I'm like, yo, just get honest about the situation. They start to become harder on themselves because they're so afraid of coming off a certain way, and they are less honest the meaner to themselves they are because they're not seeing themselves through a clear lens. They're viewing themselves as flawed or damaged or like not good enough, as an imposter, and they slant their perspective in that arena, in that direction, and then they like paint themselves out in that way, and it's generally not reality. Okay? So I'm asking you to get honest in a way that might actually make you seem better. And that might be just as triggery and scary as getting honest in a way that makes you feel worse. It actually might be even more so triggery and scary because a lot of us are not used to feeling good about ourselves. A lot of us are not used to like trusting ourselves. A lot of us are not used to like being able to know that it's okay to know what we're good at. So when we own our magnificence, we simply take inventory of the lessons we have learned in our life. That's it. It's really that easy. Take inventory of the lessons you've learned in your life and the ways in which you've grown and changed, and then anchor that shit in. When you are owning your magnificence, you are anchoring your skills in to who you are in a way that allows you to use those skills to help other people. And yourself. I'm going to say that again, but I'm going to say it in another way because I can't memorize how I just said it. When you are earning your magnificence, you are having a willingness to anchor in your gifts, your insights, your lessons, your learning, your innate skills and talents. You're willing to anchor those into you. You're willing to take ownership of them so that you can use them, so that you can share them with the world, so that you can present them to other people. This is so important because remember, if you're here to discover who you are and what your gifts are and then to give them all away, how can you ever give them away if you don't know that you have them? Now, especially I'm talking to the small business owners right now. This is like a big shift for you because a lot of us have a scarcity mindset around marketing or advertising. We feel a weird energy around selling things. We feel a weird energy around like sort of convincing people to like participate in our offerings. And that's because the energy of convincing is the same energy as scarcity. It's like gross, right? It's like not our friend. It's not our fave. It's not like, it shouldn't sit with us at lunch. Like, I don't like that vibe. However, when you're owning your magnificence, what you're doing is you're being like, oh my God, I can do this thing and I can do it really cute and I like love this thing and I'm good at it. So I want to share it with people who will also appreciate it. Now that's an energy of abundance. When you think about your offerings as if they are gifts to people who are already looking for them or who already need them, now there's none of that scarcity energy. Now it's simply alignment. You're getting a whole ass masterclass in business on this episode, and I just would like you to know that, and I would like you to notice it, and if you want to, you can go ahead and donate to my Venmo. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, like, this is some, like, high-level stuff. This is some business-changing, like, information, okay? I don't currently offer any business masterminds because I don't have any time, but I have been approached several times for this. when I did used to offer a business mastermind class, this was the second class I taught in that business mastermind. Owning Your Magnificence was a huge cornerstone of that program. And the reason it was a huge cornerstone of that program was because it is so foundationally important. If you can't realize that what you're offering has a home already out in the world, and you're not trying to convince anybody of that, you're just trying to help that little offering find its place in someone's life. Like, when you realize that, it's a game changer. Because now you're just looking for the people who already exist. There is someone out there who needs what you have to offer. And this is not just in a business capacity. This is like a personality thing. This is the way you show up to friendships, the way you show up to work, the way you show up to your life, the way you show up to your romantic partnerships, the way you show up as a parent. This is important. There is someone out there who needs what you are specifically bringing to the table. And they will never get to have it if you don't let yourself know that you have it to offer and to share. So we must become comfortable with the concept of understanding what our gifts are, taking ownership of them so we can turn around and give them out. Okay? You know, I once played this video game. I forget which video game it is. I haven't played a video game in like 10,000 years. But I once played this video game, and like, it was one of those ones where you're like, running around, like shooting bad guys, like, I don't know, like a shooter kind of game. I guess like Call of Duty, but it's not that. But anyway, and so you would get like put into these levels, and you would have to like go find the thing and steal it, and then like run back to like the pickup point or whatever. Okay. And all the meanwhile, you're getting like assaulted by like rando, you know, computer generated guys with like weapons and whatever. And so you're running through this level, you get to the thing, you grab the item, you like make your way back. After you have completed all the tasks in the level in this one game I was playing, you don't have to just, like, it doesn't end the level. It doesn't just go, okay, done. You have to find your way back to the place where you're getting like picked up from the helicopter or whatever. But as you're like making your way back, you can just like wander around this world. Like, you could theoretically like defeat all the computer generated people and like just walk around this place. You could be there as long as you want. There's no more value being added to your experience by being there. Like, you're not getting more points. Like, you can't level up anymore. Like, you already completed the task, but you can just run around that level all that you want. This to me is a metaphor. Okay. This to me is a metaphor of what happens when we don't own our magnificence. We can get into a level in our life and like go through like the trials and tribulations of life. And I am not someone who believes that like life is like this like alive being trying to teach us like effed up lessons, like by hurting us and harming us and being like, just learn, right? Just learn. I don't think that's what's happening here. But I do know that we all have the opportunity to learn from anything that does happen to us. And because we have that opportunity, we are constantly evolving, especially if we're like doing life right? Like, we're always on a path. We're always evolving. We're always like self-evaluating. We're like saying to ourselves, like, how can I be better at this? What do I wish I had done? Like, where am I like contributing to my own drama? And these are all self-coaching questions. Like, jot them down. Like, how am I making my life harder? Is there another way to see the situation? Like, whatever. What would compassion say? Like, what would self-worth say? Like, blah, 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 blah. And we're like self-coaching ourselves, and we're doing things, and we're becoming different. Every time we like establish a boundary and stick to it and like do all these things, we're like leveling up. But what happens when we don't stop and see what a good job we're doing is we get stuck in that level, just running around, defeating the same bad guys, doing the same things over and over and over again. And if you find yourself in a cycle of life that seems to be very repetitive, I really need you to listen to this. Because you are stuck in a loop because you have forgotten to let yourself know that you are done learning that same lesson. The universe is going to go ahead and bring the same stuff to us until we decide that we are over it. The universe is going to go ahead and bring the same stuff to us until we decide that we are over it. We must signal out like, yo, got it. Stop sending me the same guy with a different face and a different name over and over and over again. I have defeated that guy. And the way that we signal out that we've defeated him is twofold. Number one, we stop choosing the same guy. Hello. And number two, we say, I am not doing that anymore. That's what we say. And when we make that declaration and when we say that thing like to ourselves and outwardly to the universe, we're like, hey, yo, give me something else. I've heard the same song on repeat. I'm over it. Give me something else. Once we make that request, we are required to follow through by owning our magnificence and being like, I have learned this lesson. I am not going to do this again. And then when that same guy approaches you, when you're out in the world, you're like, oh my God, I totally recognize this. Thank you so much. But no, absolutely not. Please go away. Like, lose my number. Forget my name. Like, see you later. Bye. This is how we do it. When we have to change our behavior, we have to do that by changing our behavior. When we want our external world to change, we must change our behavior. When we want our external world to change, we must change our inner world. This is not new information. This is like definitely something you already know and are probably working on, and keep going. In order for us to leave the level, we have to admit to ourselves, I'm done the level. I have acquired all of the learning on this topic. That's the same thing as Audrey being like, I know how to change a tire. I can get through this moment because I have the skills, the tools, and the resources needed to do the task in front of me. I am going to stop dealing with the same guy. I am over it. I have the skills, the tools, and the resources to not fall into that trap again. And so we can break the cycles that repeat themselves in our own lives by realizing we are done with those cycles because we've learned them enough and we do differently now. We get to say to ourselves like, oh, I recognize what's happening. I know how to deal with this. A vague theme in the episodes in this season has been like my recent struggle with like total annihilating betrayal in my life. Betrayal is not a new thing for me. There is a protocol that I have that I hate because I don't like it, because I hate when it happens. But there is a protocol that I have that I will run when I am being betrayed. It's a very simple protocol. It goes like this. Confirm that the betrayal has happened. And if you're me, you double confirm it because you want to think the best of everybody and you want to see like everybody's heart and you want to really understand. And so you seek to find any other reason or any other explanation. When an explanation or a reason is not readily available and it becomes obvious that the betrayal has happened, here's step 2. Totally and completely remove, cut off, and permanently banish whomever it is that has betrayed me from my life. This is my protocol. Pretty short and sweet. As you know, or as I've just said, I hate doing this because I don't like cutting people off. I don't like banishing people from my world. I don't like having to be black and white really with anything, but especially with things as complex as relationships. And yet, because I have had this happen before, when it happens again, I'm like, recognize that. I know how to deal with it. And I do. It is because I can own my own magnificence and know that I have the tools to survive that situation. That's what I fall back on when I'm presented with it. If I didn't let myself know that I knew how to do it, I would become paralyzed and shut down and destroyed by it. And none of us need that. So a really good first step for you when you're listening to this and you're like, all right, I get it all in theory. Own your magnificence, figure out what tools you have, and let yourself know you have them, right? Like, but how? I want you to reflect back on the things that you have overcome in your life, the situations that you have mastered. I want you to reflect back on all the things you've learned too. Like maybe you're a really great writer. Maybe you've taken a bunch of writing classes or done like workshops or whatever. Or maybe you're a really cool artist. Or maybe you're really great at like website design. Or maybe you're really good at organizing. These don't have to just be like self-work concepts. These can be very tangible things. And I want you to be like, you know what? I am good at that. I've got it. I know how to do it. Yeah, I got you. I can do this. But if you can't own it, you can't offer it. And I almost said something snarky there, like, unless you're stealing from other people and just offering out their words as if they are your own, which happens to me all the time. But I'm not going to snark anybody because you know what? That's their thing. But if you can't own it, you can't offer it. So what I want you to do is to say to yourself, like, what am I good at? Like, and you can say it like it's a secret. Like, if you're scared that someone's going to overhear you knowing that you're good at something, like, just secretly tell yourself. I am really big on, like, secretly telling yourself truths about yourself. And there's a reason for this, right? Like, okay, so, like, a lot of us are scared to let ourselves know anything good about ourselves because maybe we had a parent that, like, loved to dismantle and destroy our self-esteem. And so if you had a parent or a sibling or someone in your life that did that to you, it's terrifying for you to ever say anything nice about yourself. And that's because you're used to being like cut down and destroyed. But there aren't only two choices. The two choices are not just between like keep like abundantly silent and never say anything positive about yourself or be like super cocky and obnoxious and get like, you know, exposed to danger through like emotional warfare of other people. Those aren't your only two choices. You're allowed to secretly know things about yourself without telling anybody else about them. This is like revelatory for lots of people. I knew for years that I was gay before I told a single soul. I knew forever. I also knew that I was a psychic intuitive for a really long time, and I kept that to my damn self as well. But I couldn't use these things. I couldn't use my gay powers, right? Until I owned them. I couldn't use my psychic giftedness until I was willing to claim title, claim the word, take ownership of that word because it did apply to me. But I had to do so much self-work. I had to do so much like experimentation and proving to myself. I had to do so many things to become more comfortable with it. But the very, very, very first thing I had to do was tell myself, OMG, I think I might be psychic. Or OMG, maybe I'm gay. But again, been knowing that one. Can I just tell you a fun side story? Like, I think I already told the story on the podcast about how I saw Audrey before, like years ago, before she belonged to me. And she was part of my like, oh my God, definitely a lesbian moment. So I really want you to say to yourself, like, what secret do I want to tell myself that I might, about something that I might be good at? And like, just tell yourself secretly. Maybe I'm like really good at reading and understanding things. Maybe I'm like really good at persuasive arguments. Maybe I'm like really good at like designing and creating board games. Maybe I'm like really good at karaoke. I think I'm secretly good at like doing makeup, or I think I'm really good at like training dogs. Whatever it is, whisper a secret to yourself about something you are skilled at. And then, like, let yourself, like, relish in the joy of knowing this and, like, practice with it. Because back in the day when I started doing, like, psychic readings, I had the inkling. I was like, I definitely know I'm a psychic, but I'm not going to tell anybody because, like, everybody already hates me and my family and is, like, mean to me. And, like, I just don't need anything else. And, like, I can't deal with it, whatever. But what I did do was I secretly started to, like, pay attention to all the, like, random things I knew. I started to just notice. And I started to watch myself be like crazy hella accurately right. And that was kind of weird. And then I started just being like, when people would talk to me about their problems, I would be like, can I give you advice? Like, can I share with you what I think? And then I would like not give them advice for my thoughts, but I would give them advice for my channel. And I would like see if it worked or see if it came true. I was like running these experiments to prove to myself, like, maybe I am this thing. Maybe I am really good at training dogs, right? Or whatever. I am not really good at training dogs. I have really badly behaved dogs. And so I practiced with it because I told myself the secret that I thought maybe that was a thing. And I let myself discover if it was true or not. But I wasn't skewing my results. I wasn't like looking to be wrong. I wasn't like trying to prove myself as bad and like unacceptable and like whatever. I wasn't running the programming of like the negative dialogue that I had always been exposed to in my life. Like I wasn't going to do that. I was being highly neutral. And it's really important that you either be neutral or on your own side. There are enough people out here who are trying to be mean that you don't need to be one of them. Please do not participate in the dismantling of your own self. Please do not participate in the dismantling of your own self-worth. There are enough people out there who are going to do that to us that we have to decide to radically love and accept ourselves. We have to decide to be so excited to be on our own team. We have to decide to be our own biggest cheerleaders. Yo, you are in this body. This is where you are. You're going to stay here till you're not. And so I really want you to make it look nice, get at home in it, dress the place up, make it belong to you. You are in this body. So let's discover what it's good at, and let's jazz the joint up, and let's decide to really like it and make the best of it, and get on its team. Have some loyalty to yourself. Your greatest loyalty should always be to yourself. You are yourself. You are there. So let's make it awesome. And so I don't want you to talk to yourself like trash. I don't want you to diminish your greatness. I don't want you to point out your flaws. I want you to be okay, constructive time. Where could I have done differently? Or what should I be noticing about what did work versus what didn't work? And okay, I'm going to take notes, but it's not in a mean way. You are not trying to be mean to yourself. Let the world be mean. You don't need to be mean. We don't need to bring more meanness into the world. If you are a generator of energy and spirit, you are a conduit of spirit, you are a conduit of energy, why are we going to use that generator within ourselves to call forth meanness? And I'm talking about how you treat yourself. That is icky. It's not nice. And you don't want to be manifesting meanness. So let's get neutral or nice, okay? So I watched myself and I was okay, oh my gosh, all the boxes are checking. I think this is a real thing. And over time, I was able to cultivate some confidence, so that then my next step, when I was able to kind of take a little more ownership of it, I was able to put it out there okay, y'all, I am practicing with my spiritual gifts. And this was fully 12, 13 years ago at this point. But I was practicing with my spiritual gifts. Can we, anybody wants to have a free practice reading, and I'm not offering this right now, this is way back in the day, hit me up, and I want to practice. So, but I was fully transparent. I was new to this, trying to figure myself out. I want to learn my reading style, so I want to practice on people. If you qualify for this, hit me up. And I did over 100 free readings in my first month, because I was trying to cultivate my own style. I was trying to explore myself with curiosity. I was trying to find out what my strengths and skills were, so that I could take ownership of those strengths and skills, so that I could offer them out to the collective. But it all started with me telling myself a secret. And that secret was I think I'm good at something. Maybe I don't radically suck, right? And that's not to say I'm good at everything. Hello. Oh my gosh, y'all. There are so many things that I just totally can't do. But guess what? When I own my magnificence, when I'm owning the things I am good at, I'm also able to own the things I'm not good at in a way that's not self-deprecating and harmful. I'm able to be you want someone to cook dinner? How about we ask literally anybody else? Because that is not my jam. But it's not me being oh, I just suck at cooking. I'm the worst. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. Ew, that is some gross energy, guys. It's not nice. I'm just yeah, you got peanut butter and jelly? I can totally hook us up, right? I am humorous about it because I am not judging myself for it. I have gifts and I have weaknesses. I have strong suits and I have things that I epically just am trash at, and that's fine. No one here is here to do all the things, right? We're here to do the things that we are here to do, and we're not here to do the things that we're not here to do. And it is okay to know the difference between those things. But many people are out here feeling bad about the things they can't do and feeling bad about the things they can do. And I really want us to not do that. I really want us to be okay, what are the things I'm drawn to? How can I anchor into those things? How can I develop my skills? How can I let myself be good at something? What am I afraid of? Why am I scared to be good at something? What is the thing that I'm scared will happen if I'm good at something? Oh, someone might think this or that. Well, if that happens, then what? What am I scared of with that? And what am I scared of with that? And what am I scared of with that? Until we get down to the core of it and we can like solve that problem. If you can own your magnificence, you are able to access your spiritual gifts. You are able to access your creative gifts. You are able to access your tangible gifts. You are able to access you. If you can own your magnificence, you are able to dig down into the core of who you are, find out what magic is living in there, and then carry it up and shine the light of day upon it so you can spread it out and share it with the world. And that is so absolutely beautiful and perfect and amazing and the entire point. I have one last little story about this. I know a lady who, she was in the divinity school with me, and she's one of these people that like takes all the classes, right? Like she, not just spiritual things, but like there's people like this in all avenues. Like they just go to classes. They just take lots and lots and lots of classes. And at a certain point in any genre of learning about anything, the classes sort of get repetitive. Like there's only so much information out there that we can learn. And so one day I was like, giving her a reading and I was like, are you aware that you have like learned a lot, like all the foundational, like all the things, like you've done all the healing classes, you've done all the sound classes, you've done the entire ass divinity school. Like, you know a lot. Why are you still taking classes instead of like doing what I see right here is in your heart, which is like putting out offerings of your own and like sharing your own perspective? And she had a lot of stories about, you know, not wanting to be an ego-driven person and not having the self-confidence and who would come anyway. And there's other people more qualified and blah, 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 blah. She was afraid to own her magnificence, so she was forever a student rather than allowing herself to become a teacher. And maybe not, the path of teaching is not maybe for everyone, and that's okay. But what I wanted her to do was to at least know within herself that she didn't have to take classes because she knew the things. It's one thing to take classes because you want the social interaction or whatever, but she just was lacking the confidence in herself to stop taking classes. She never let herself anchor her knowledge. She heard everything as if it was new, which in some ways is a positive thing, but in other ways is a drawback because you're not having confidence in yourself. You're not trusting what you've done. You're not trusting that you are capable. She needed to tell herself a secret, and that secret was, perhaps I know a lot more than I think. Perhaps I'm good at some things. Perhaps this information has sunk in and I actually do get it. So I want you to take this and practice with it, especially when it comes to your spirituality. You know, when someone gets a grimoire or a book of shadows and they're kind of like, what do I even do with it? Do you know the first thing I tell them to do? I tell them to write down everything they already know. Because as a baby witch or a new witch or someone who's starting off on your path of spirituality, I guarantee you know way more than you think you do about spiritual things and like the essential nature of the universe and the essence of the energy of everything, of all that is. You know so much more than you know that you know, right? You know so much more than you realize. Write down everything you know. It's good. It counts. It's enough. You are good at this. And then you can build upon it. And as you learn things, practice with them until they feel like tools. And then let yourself know you have that tool so that you can share it with yourself and share it with others. Owning your magnificence is going to eradicate a lot of your blockages around fear or your confidence level, around not being good enough, or whatever it is that's kind of standing in your way. Letting yourself know, no, I learned this. No, I can do it. I can practice with it. If something goes wrong, I'm going to be okay. But I have tools. I have resources. That's what it means. So go forth, be magnificent, know you're magnificent, share your magnificence, and have fun. and be happy and on your own side as much as possible. And thank you for listening to my podcast. Come and find me in my academy. I would love to have one-on-one time with you, teaching you all the things and sharing all the magic with you. Find me in my Facebook group at Moonstone Witchery. You know, I do twice a month community spells over there. Literally, I let you come and join my spell. I carve a candle with your name on it, and I set the spell for that month upon your energy field and call forth all kinds of magic to you. This month we did blessings for our full moon community spell. Every single candle was personally blessed by me, and then I channeled through the infinite realm of blessings from all that is into all the candle work, and it was a beautiful spell. And we also sell fabulous little crystals off our table for the spells. We had little baby ghosties this time, and like amethyst moon bowls and beautiful florites. So I'm just telling you, like, there's a lot of cool things happening in all the Moonstone Witchery spaces. So find us and follow us and join us, because I'd love to get to know you better and I'd love to see you there. Thank you for listening, and I will be back soon with more episodes. If you like my podcast, please share it with your friends. And if you share it on social media, tag me so I can send you a whole bunch of good energy. Mwah.